America chooses new leaders.
From Washington to our local races, we're there as the votes come in.
The races and the issues that matter the most, with your voice being heard on this election day. Fox 11 News at 10 starts right now. And welcome to a very special edition of Fox 11 News at 10 from our Fox 11 election headquarters. Good evening. I'm Alex Michelson.
Thanks for being with us on this election night. I'm Christine Devine.
And I'm Marla Tejas.
Let's take a look at some numbers right now. The popular vote coming in for President of the United States. You're looking at the national numbers we're getting so far, with 65% of the estimated votes counted. Donald Trump looking good tonight so far, though many of California's votes are not included yet in the numbers. We are continuing to watch the votes come in tonight at this hour at 10 o'clock.
Much closer to home in L.A. County. This was a race we've all been watching. The one for L.A. County District Attorney George Gascon, the incumbent, challenger Nathan Hochman. And as the polls leading up to tonight had shown, Hochman is up 61% to 39%.
Now, the propositions has been called tonight. This one had a lot of voter interest. It dealt with increasing charges and sentences for drug and theft crimes. This has been called. Look at the difference in the numbers. That yes vote at 71%.
Now let's take a look at the national map in terms of the presidential results. We look right now in terms of the swing states. North Carolina has been called by the Associated Press, and it's looking like Georgia may be called soon as well. We want to take a live look from the Trump campaign headquarters in Florida, which is a celebratory mood. You see the room there is packed. Donald Trump could be addressing that crowd at any time. A very different look at the Harris campaign headquarters, where there is not very much joy right now. Let's look at some of the numbers. In order to win the presidency, Kamala Harris is going to need to win Pennsylvania, and right now she is behind there. Trump up 51.2 to Harris's 47.8, but there still are a lot of ballots that need to be counted. She's got to win Wisconsin. Harris is behind in Wisconsin. Trump right now at 51 to Harris's 47. And Harris has to win Michigan. Let's look at the numbers from there right now. Trump is ahead 52 to 46. It is possible right now that Donald Trump wins every single battleground state. A short time ago, Cedric Richmond, a Harris campaign co-chair, came out to her watch party. Here's what he said.
We still have votes to count. We still have states that have not been called yet. We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted, that every voice has spoken. So you won't hear from the Vice President tonight, but you will hear from her tomorrow. She will be back here tomorrow to address not only the HU family, not only to address her supporters, but to address the nation.
It feels a lot like 2016 when Hillary Clinton did not come out and address her supporters on the night that Donald Trump won the presidency. Connor Hansen is live at the Kamala Harris election headquarters at Howard University in Washington. It's got to be a depressing feeling there right now, Connor.
Alex, I can't stress enough how dramatic of a mood shift we just experienced here. Obviously, we checked in with you earlier in the night, and this was a celebratory mood. A huge crowd here, thousands. There was music, dancing. They were watching the live feed of the news coverage showing those returns coming back. But it became clear pretty quickly that things weren't going the way the Harris campaign had planned or had hoped for, and it got much quieter. Then, as you mentioned, Cedric Richmond, one of the co-chairs for the campaign, he came out without much notice after a lot of questions about if Harris would show up tonight. He, of course, came out and said she wouldn't be speaking tonight, but she will address the American people from here at Howard University tomorrow, stressing that there are still lots of votes to count. There is still a possibility for them to get that blue wall but it is becoming less and less likely based on the numbers we're seeing. We're, of course, talking about Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. So still votes to count, but in a race we thought could take several days potentially, it's looking like it might be closer to hours before we know the exact results of this race, Alex.
Connor Hansen, thank you for that reporting. Christine.
Different story elsewhere. Donald Trump right here alongside his wife Melania casting their votes this morning in Palm Beach, Florida. Looking like a good night with this crowd here waiting for more election results to come in. This is Trump campaign headquarters where they are still there in Florida. We go live to Fox's Rebecca Castor. Rebecca.
Hey, Christine, I can tell you the mood here very different from what Connor just laid out at the Harris campaign headquarters. The excitement is climbing by the minute, and we are waiting for Donald Trump to arrive here at his election night party. We're waiting for word from our folks outside if the motorcade is pulling up here, but all signs seem to indicate that he's going to be arriving here very soon. We saw staffers on the stage setting up the teleprompter glass, so we could be getting remarks from him very, very soon. Now, Fox has called North Carolina and Georgia for former President Trump. So those are huge wins. So now his campaign is zeroed in on Pennsylvania. If he wins that state, he gets the 19 electoral votes, and that will win him the White House. So like Connor said, we could have the final results for this race. We might be able to call it in just a few hours.
Rebecca Castor, thank you for that. And so let's show you sort of what we're talking about. This is an iPad right here with 270towin.com on it. We want to bring it up so we can talk to you about some of those scenarios. Rebecca just talking about that. If somehow Harris is able to win Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, that gets her to 270. That's all she needs. But if Trump is able to win Pennsylvania, he's there at 281. And he doesn't even need to worry about Nevada or Arizona, which are states he could win as well. Then he's at 287. And if he runs the table and does Michigan and Wisconsin, where he's ahead right now, we're talking about an electoral college landslide. Donald Trump potentially at 312 electoral votes. That is the state of the race right now, which is why those three blue wall states are so important, but right now not looking good for the Democrats. Better news potentially when it comes to the congressional races. Let's talk about the balance of power in the House. We want to bring Marla Tejas into the conversation right now. And Marla, we've been looking at these races that have gotten hundreds of millions of dollars spent on them.
Yeah, we're going to start in northern LA County. This is District 27, and this pits the challenger Democrat George Whitesides against the incumbent Mike Garcia. No doubt that you have seen the flood of ads pro and against Garcia and Whitesides. And right now, with 55% of those votes counted, Garcia has a slim lead on Whiteside's 50.1% to 49.9%. That is a very close race. That is to be expected. Now, it should be noted, Garcia, he won this seat in 2020 only by a few hundred votes. So we'll see what happens there. Moving on to District 41. This is in Riverside County. This is Will Rollins, the Democrat, facing Ken Calvert. Calvert is the longtime incumbent Republican who has held this seat since 1993, and Will Rollins was up over him. Derek Tran in District 45 is up over Michelle Steele, the incumbent, but only by a slim margin there, 50.8%. And then in District 47, also in Orange County, this is the seat held by former Congresswoman Katie Porter. Dave Min is up over Scott Baugh, 53% to the Republicans' 47%. Christine?
Now at the United States Senate race here in California, this race called very early on in the evening. Democrat Adam Schiff had been projected to be the winner over Republican Steve Garvey, given this Democratic state here, California. That vote there, 60% to 40% right there, already called, with 43% of the votes still coming in right now. Voters were asked to really vote for twice in this race, because you have the term for late Senator Dianne Feinstein to be filled as well. And Adam Schiff has won both of those spots there. We go now to Democratic headquarters in downtown L.A., where Fox 11's Phil Schuman is standing by. Adam Schiff again winning the U.S. Senate race. We go to Phil.
We're in the second floor Platinum Ballroom of the JW Marriott in downtown Los Angeles. The music is pumping behind me. The bars are still open. Popcorn is on the menu. About 45 minutes ago, a jubilant Adam Schiff, surrounded by his family, came out and thanked the crowd.
And whatever the result of the presidential race, we know there will be serious challenges facing the state of California and the country. Regardless of the outcome, regardless of the way people may have voted, I want to make one thing clear. As your senator, I am committed to standing up for every Californian.
The senator-elect talked about his priorities: affordable housing, attacking homelessness, lowering costs, sort of in general terms, preserving access to abortion, and creating more jobs, in particular green jobs. But as you mentioned, Christine, Alex, and Marla, this is the Democratic Party of California event, which means that they are focused on the top of the ticket. It's Kamala Harris's smiling face on the large electronic monitors behind me, but not a lot of smiling faces here in the crowd. A relatively small crowd by election party standards because of the numbers that are coming in at the top of the ticket. Reporting live downtown, I'm Phil Shute, Fox 11 News.
And of course, she's the first ever Democratic nominee from California. Laura Diaz standing by right now in Rancho Mirage. She's at Steve Garvey's watch party, who came up short tonight. Laura.
Yes, he did, Alex, and he came out here about an hour ago, and he spoke for a good 20 minutes. It was an eloquent speech. He was surrounded by his family, by his daughter, his wife, and his sons, and he compared the loss tonight and what he'd been through to baseball. Let's listen.
A very similar journey. We have thought a lot about the similarities between a baseball season and running for political office. It takes every day getting up and playing for the people. It takes every day having a purpose and being committed. And every day knowing that your sole purpose is play for the love of the game and the love of the fans. And, you know, tonight, even though it's bittersweet in many ways, and I would like to congratulate Adam Schiff. Haven't I taught you the Garvey way?
He went on to say, haven't I taught you the Garvey way? He was very, very gracious during this moment. Now, he said that it had been the greatest honor of his life. He said that he believed that a new president would be elected tonight, that the people of the country would know. And he also said that he felt that he had helped the down-the-ticket races. And he didn't give us an indication of exactly what was next for him, but earlier this evening when we talked to him, he said that he would continue to try to offer his services to help the country. He was not specific what role that would take. We'll have more on what Steve Garvey had to say coming up in about another 20 minutes. Laura Diaz reporting live from Rancho Mirage, sending it back to you.
All right, Laura, thank you very much. We're going to take a look now at one of the contested congressional races right now. We're talking about the 45th district in the Orange County area. Garden Grove is one of those areas. We're talking about the candidates Michelle Steele, the incumbent there, being challenged by Derek Tran. Let's go to Haley Winslow for an update on that race there.
Christine, yes, this is a very tight race. We are here at the Marriott Suites in Garden Grove in Orange County, and Derek Tran just got off the podium from talking to a packed house, so a lot of people have left, but there's still quite a few milling around with "Yes, we Tran" and "Stronger than Steel" signs. Now, Tran is slightly ahead, but this is very, very close, so we'll likely get those official results hopefully in a few days. But Tran says he is cautiously optimistic. He's joining me now again live. First of all, how are you feeling?
I feel fantastic. You know, this is a race that we put so much work into. It was run by volunteers who gave up so much of their time, and it's paying off, and we're seeing the results come in, but we remain cautiously optimistic. You
came from a son of refugee parents to nearly the highest level of government in one generation, you said, and this all started sitting on the 22 freeway in traffic with a telemarketer call. What was that about?
Look, only in America where the son of refugees in one generation can rise up to the level of U.S. House representative. You know, and that call that I received was just a call from some consultants that also represented the party that wanted me to look at this race and wanted me to run because my background suits this community so well.
If you don't win, can we see you sticking around in politics?
You know, right now I'm focused on my race tonight, and I'm going to remain very positive, and I hope whatever I can do for my community, however I can serve, that's what I want to do.
And lastly, what is your message to that community, to District 45 tonight?
I want to tell District 45 I am so proud of them. I want to thank them for getting up, getting out of their house, voting, sending in their ballots. You know, that's your voice. You made it clear. You're going to vote. We're going to hear you, and I'm going to do everything I can to represent you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Derek Tran, running for District 45 here in Garden Grove. I'm Haley Winslow. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Haley, thanks so much. So District 45 does include Garden Grove, yes, and also Buena Park, Cerritos, and those surrounding areas. Fox 11's Christy Fajardo, she's live at Congresswoman Michelle Steele's watch party in Buena Park. Christy.
Yeah, Congresswoman Michelle Steele just took the podium and gave a very brief speech, and she got a standing ovation. At one point, she said she was up by double digits, but I'm not sure where those numbers are coming from because I just checked the OC and also LA County election results because her district has areas in both counties, and she's trailing slightly behind her opponent. Nonetheless, her campaign tells us they feel pretty good about where the outstanding votes are. But take a look. This was Congresswoman Michelle Steele greeting and thanking supporters and volunteers shortly after the polls closed. This has been a very contentious campaign and a very expensive one, with outside groups spending millions on attack ads. Democrats are hoping to unseat her with attorney Derek Tran. Republicans, meanwhile, thought to keep her in Washington, and both sides have accused the other of lying. Last Friday, LAist raised questions about a $1.2 million pandemic contract she awarded as an OC supervisor to the company who prints her campaign mailers. The contract was to feed seniors. She has refused to give interviews to answer questions about the report, including to Fox 11, but the report came out after many people had already voted. And tonight, she did tell us the following before her campaign ushered her away.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Everything's good, and we're just waiting for the next, batches coming in. So, thank you.
Do you feel relieved, anxious?
You know what? I feel very much relieved, but we really worked hard. So.
And many people are still milling about, waiting for more precincts to report and to get updated numbers. But even her campaign tells us they do not expect to know the outcome for days. They expect this to be a very, very tight race. Live in Buena Park, I'm Christy Fajardo. I'll send it back to you.
Christy, thank you. More numbers in a moment, but we go to break with a look at some of the congressional races and a good night for Democratic incumbent members of Congress.
welcome you back with a look at the race for LA County District Attorney. You see that Nathan Hochman, as the polls have been showing going into tonight, has an almost 25-point lead over the incumbent George Gascon, 62 to 39%. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf, he's live for us in Beverly Hills. This is at Nathan Hochman's watch party, which has become a de facto victory party tonight. Matthew?
Yeah, Marla, right now the party is on, and they are celebrating pretty good because, again, as you were saying, the polls show them with a more than 20-point lead right now. You can see him on the stage taking pictures, speaking with donors and victims' families and judges. Lots of people here celebrating him tonight. In his speech, he didn't officially say he won, but he kind of did without spelling it out. But here he is moments ago saying times will be changing in LA County.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Everyone wants to have a safe environment for themselves and their family. They want to simply go out, not just at night, but during the day, and not have to worry about coming back to a home that's been robbed. They don't want to have a situation where they can no longer even call the police department because the police department says our hands are tied. So here's what I'm here to tell the police department. Your hands aren't tied anymore. I'm here to tell you that George Gascon is about to be gone.
Hochman said in his speech tonight that he wants to make crime illegal again. We're also hoping to speak with him here momentarily, and we'll bring that to you as soon as we can. His staff tells me, though, so far tonight they have not heard from George Gascon, but also say that they have never really talked much before. Reporting live tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
All right, thank you for that update there on that big race. We're going to take a look now at the propositions that California voters had to pick from today. The big one was Prop 36. That was called early on in the evening. It has to do with increased charges and sentences for drug and theft crimes. The numbers right there on your screen. That yes vote, strong 71%. Prop 32. This has not been called yet. It deals with minimum wage. If you look at this here, very close race, with 43% of the votes coming in. All right, we look now at Prop 33. Has to do with expanding authority for rent control. That's coming in right now as a no, not yet called. People thought the problem with this one, it went too far, it would stymie housing construction.
Let's talk about the race for Council District 14. This is the race between Kevin De Leon, the incumbent, and Isabel Jurado, his challenger, challenging him from the left. Both of those have been involved in controversies. Kevin De Leon down in the early numbers. Let's go to Fox 11's Susan Hirasuna at the De Leon camp. Susan.
Yes, and candidate De Leon is right here, right next to me, and with those early numbers, he has not lost his optimism. He was just up there on the dais talking about his accomplishments, but what is more to come? Like, if you are moving forward, what do you look forward to in a new term?
Well, listen, it's not going to be a long night. It's going to be a long week, without question, because we have more than 50,000 votes still to count. Many of those voters, if not the vast majority of them, supermajority, are same-day poll voters coming from areas that we have done historically pretty well. So it's going to be a long week.
But meantime, when you were up there speaking to your supporters, for sure you detailed a lot of your accomplishments for CD14. It did not sound like, if I were to characterize, a really optimistic, we're moving forward, we're going to be there, we're going to cross the finish line.
Well, listen, because like I said, it's going to be a long week, so it's unpredictable in that sense. I don't have a crystal ball in front of me that can predict what the future will be. Nonetheless, we stay focused on the issues that matter the most, the issues of homelessness, the issues of public safety. Those are two issues that impact everyday Angelenos, but especially in CD14.
You are voted out. Is it because of that scandal from 2-3 years ago? You went on a great tour of, like, redemption, but was it not enough?
Listen, I can't predict what the future will hold, but I can say this. I didn't fall into a fetal position and become paralyzed. We rolled up our sleeves and we worked really, really hard. We're number one in the entire city of LA for building the most homeless interim housing units for the unhoused. We're number one in the entire city of LA for building the most parks. We're number one in the entire city of LA for building the most modern, state-of-the-art playgrounds, especially in the most poorest, vulnerable, marginalized communities in all of the city of LA. So we roll up our sleeves. Sometimes it's not just about votes and elections or titles. It's about results. And I think that's what everyday Angelino wants from their elected officials.
What is your mission of public service if this does not go your way?
Well, listen, there's always second chapters and third chapters and fourth chapters, but we're not thinking about that right now. We're just thinking about the long week that's ahead of us.
De Leon, thank you very much for your time talking with us tonight. Okay, so as you just heard, he wants to point out a lot of his accomplishments in the last 4 years and not talk about the possibility that he might not have another 4 years. I'll throw it back to you.
Susan, thanks so much. Let's check in with the other side. Fox 11's Hal Eisner. He's live for us in Highland Park, where Isabel Jurado spoke to supporters not long ago. And the early count shows that she is up 56 to 43%, Hal.
Yeah, and the mood here is festive, partially because of that. Take a look at the crowd around here. A lot of people showing up over the last hour or two. Isabel Jurado coming to the podium just a few minutes ago. The enthusiasm here is palpable. She started her campaign about 2 years ago, and tonight she thanked all of those who were supportive of that campaign. Here's a little of what she said.
Tonight we stand together, exhausted but on our own 2 feet, because against all odds we built something extraordinary out of what they would call nothing. Because we knew it was never nothing. We were always bigger, greater, stronger, more powerful than they could ever imagine our community to be. And we've always been larger than life. And as I've all told you, my larger than life are 4-foot women like the one right there, my tita, who are the biggest powerhouses in the tiniest bodies.
And now she's working the crowd here in this room, and the people just keep coming in. Again, that vote separation, she's got about 4,000 more votes than Kevin De Leon, but the vote total is very early right now, so they're not making any speeches about, victory or concession or anything like that. They're going to watch these numbers until they become much more solidified. In Highland Park, Hal Eisner, Fox 11 News, back to you.
All right, and we've seen sometimes in these city races, Marla, the total can change 10 points as more results. We think about Caruso and Bass, that changed 10 points.
Yeah, it tends to sway in L.A. County that the progressive vote comes in a little bit later, so we'll see where that bodes. If that's the case, though, that would seem to bode well for Isabel Jurado.
Right. Well, reminded that voters can mail in their ballots here in California. They can vote early, and a lot of those votes are still going to be counted over the days.
All right, as we go to break, we'll leave you with some results from the local state Senate races as well. Stay with us. The big breaking news of this hour, a very, very good night for Donald Trump. You're looking live at his watch party near Mar-a-Lago in Florida. They're all still there, and they are expecting Donald Trump to speak sometime soon. If it is confirmed that Donald Trump wins the state of Pennsylvania, based off of what has already happened, Donald Trump will be elected the President of the United States tonight. This is a picture from the Harris Party, which is no longer a party. They said, basically, go home. Harris is not going to be speaking to the public tonight, and you see people there leaving in despair. So what started as a party at the beginning of the night felt more like a funeral for people that were leaving. Again, it looks like Donald Trump will be both the 45th and 47th president of the United States. And he is going to have a Republican majority in the Senate. Will he have a Republican majority in the House? That's still a big question. Let's look at the balance of power right now for the House of Representatives. Right now, Republicans at 110, Democrats at 163. Magic number there, getting to about 212, which would give Republicans control of the House and Mike Johnson the speakership. We'll see, though, the California districts are going to have a say on this in a big way, Christine.
We're going to look at the the races for the House of Representatives right here, District 47. This is one of the contested races here in California. Democrat Dave Min is ahead right now of Republican Scott Baugh. This is a district that is open because Congresswoman Katie Porter had run for Senate and did not win that race, so she was out of office, and this seat up for grabs here. Fox 11's Chelsea Edwards is following that race. Chelsea.
Yeah, good evening. We're live here at Ladoon's Irish Pub. The party also winding down here for a while, though. It was standing room only, shoulder to shoulder. You couldn't hear anything but cheering as all these numbers were called out across the country. Now you can see it's kind of dying down a little bit. They just took down the podium and they told everybody this is actually going to close in less than 30 minutes. So everyone needs to finish their drinks and essentially get out pretty soon. But this is where Representative Scott Baugh spoke a little bit earlier. This is also where the California Republican Party and the Republican Party of Orange County having their election night party. You see a lot of red hats here, a lot of people in Trump 2024 gear, lots of flags. Again, absolutely packed here. It's just been a full crowd all night long. Now, all eyes, of course, on the presidential race, but also here, the 47th Congressional District. And this is a huge part of Orange County. This includes Irvine, Costa Mesa, Huntington, Newport, Laguna Beach, and Seal Beach. And as you mentioned, this is for the seat that was previously held by Democratic Representative Katie Porter. Now, Republican business owner Scott Baugh spoke to us just a little bit earlier. He's an attorney. He served in the California Assembly from 1995 to 2000 before becoming chairman of the Orange County GOP back in 2004. He served there until 2015. He told us a little while ago he is confident that the numbers will sway his way, even if it takes a couple of days. Listen here.
We feel great. If you look at what's going on the East Coast, we have a wave of Republican enthusiasm that's coming all the way across the country. And in this district, we have 10,000 more Republican votes cast already than Democrat votes. And so we're anxious to see all the votes counted tonight and see where we stand. But I think we're going to be in the winner's circle.
Now, so again, they just took down the podium, so that is the last we will hear from Scott Baugh. I haven't seen him in the audience for a little while now, so that's likely the last we're going to hear from him until we get final results, which again could take several days. We just heard from a member of the Republican Party here who said it's coming in, their results are coming in very slowly in California, and this is likely going to take some time. So again, they've broken down. Those are the last remarks that we're going to hear. They're closing down this bar in less than 30 minutes, although as you can see, a lot of people don't look like they're wrapping up anytime soon. And again, they've been cheering throughout the evening as various places flip red. A lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm here in this crowd. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But again, less than 30 minutes, and everyone will be kicked out, be told to leave, and we'll have to see what happens here in the 47th Congressional District. I'll send it back to you.
Not sure if they heard the call for last call. Okay, Chelsea, thanks so much. So this is District 47 with 60% of the votes counted. Dave Min holds a slim lead, 52 to 48%. Let's go to Dave Min and his supporters. This is where Fox 11's Ed Lascos joins us now live from Costa Mesa. Ed.
And Marla, it is anything but a last call here for the supporters of Dave Min. He came out a little while ago cheering, clapping. He's looking at the numbers. They do look good. Gino will give you a quick look around the ballroom here at the watch party. The crowd still mulling around. They've been watching the national results. Not too happy about that. But as far as the 47th Congressional District, very happy. Their numbers, I was just looking at them, their internal numbers coming in from the ballots being counted. About 55% for Min, 44% for the Republican challenger, Scott Baugh. And that's no wonder why Dave Min says he's feeling pretty confident. Quick video. This is Dave Min coming out to the ballroom a little while ago, shaking hands with a lot of his supporters, saying his grassroots campaign going door to door by a lot of the volunteers through this district here in Orange County, from Newport Beach to Irvine to Costa Mesa to Seal Beach, really paid off. He says he's no stranger. He told me, as a matter of fact, he's no stranger to these close races, having tried to hit the Congress, the U.S. Congress back in 2017, never made it past the primary. This time it's looking different. He says he's confident, and he really likes the momentum he's been seeing the last couple of hours. Listen to Dave Min.
So this has always been a grassroots campaign, and you are really the lifeblood of this campaign. I'm so grateful for your blood, sweat, and tears, and so proud of the campaign we've run. And look, we're still waiting on results to come in. We like where we are right now, but there's a lot of votes out there still to be counted. We like the momentum. We're hopeful that the results will hold up, that we'll see, be able to declare victory in a couple days, but it is too early to count that.
And now you're looking live. Too early to count it all, Dave Min says. The supporters applauding. Dave Min left to the roar of the crowd, and he was stressing all along that it's going to take a couple days until he will come out and declare victory, but he's been watching the numbers, saying as long as they keep that 10% margin and more votes come in, he's feeling confident by the hour, but he's thinking it might be a couple of days before it's a sealed deal for him moving to Washington in the 47th Congressional District. For now, we're live here at Costa Mesa. Back to the west side we go.
At least a couple of days. It could be a couple of weeks on that one. Ed Laskos, thank you.
As we go to break, we leave you with some of the results from the local state assembly races.
A live look at Trump campaign headquarters in Florida, where the celebration is on, although the race has not been officially called. All indications are that Donald Trump is going to be elected president of the United States tonight. So many people thought that this race could take days or weeks to count. Instead, it's just a matter of hours. Trump could be coming out to speak at any time. When that happens, we will go to it live. In the meantime, we welcome you back into our studios for a very special edition of Fox 11 News at 10. I'm Alex Michelson.
And I'm Christine Devine.
I'm Marla Tejas.
Let's look at the national results popular vote right now. We know Democrats have won every popular vote except for 2004 with George W. Bush for the last 25 years or so. Trump right now leading the popular vote, although as California numbers trickle in, that number may change. But it's all about the swing states, Marla.
Yeah, let's talk about the all-important swing state of Pennsylvania. And this one here has Trump up 51% to Harris's 48%. This is with 94% of those estimated votes counted. If, in fact, it is called for Pennsylvania by the Associated Press tonight, this would make Donald Trump the 47th president of the United States.
Let's go. Harris needs to win in Wisconsin. She's behind in Wisconsin right now, 51 to 47. She's also got to win in Michigan, and she's behind right there, 52 to 46.
Back here closer to home, the race for LA County District Attorney, that one still holds strong for Nathan Hochman, 61% to George Gascon's 39%. That still has not been officially called by the Associated Press. We are keeping a watch.
Yeah, safe to assume on that one.
We're watching now Prop 36 here. This is one of the ones that was called very early on. This deals with stiffer sentences for drug and theft crimes. We have a strong yes vote here. California is really concerned about the crime they're seeing in their communities. And now we have the U.S. Senate race. This is the seat left by the late Dianne Feinstein, who held that seat forever. Democrat Adam Schiff going from Congress to the Senate now with this race declared. And Steve Garvey, who's been the longtime Dodger icon, taking on Schiff, unable to pull out that victory.
According to the Associated Press, Republicans have taken control of the United States Senate, winning at least 51 seats, and there could be more to come. Let's look at some of the key Senate races. In West Virginia, Republicans able to flip that seat. Jim Justice flipping a seat currently held by Joe Manchin. In Ohio, Republican Bernie Moreno defeating incumbent Democrat Sherrod Brown, flipping that seat. The Montana race, no final numbers there yet, but Republican Tim Sheehy is ahead of the incumbent Democratic Senator John Tester. So what does that mean? If there is a Trump presidency and a Republican Senate, basically they can confirm whatever Supreme Court justice they want. They can confirm his entire cabinet, and it will basically mean that you could have Supreme Court justices from Trump, potentially 5 of them in place for the next 40 years. We'll be right back. A live look right now at the counting operations where election workers are processing those vote-by-mail ballots. Fox 11's Gina Silva is live at the vote center in the City of Industry with a look at how it's working. Gina.
Alex, this is where all the action takes place. Just take a look behind me. These employees here are waiting for the ballots. They are part of the extraction team. As soon as new ballots come in, they take them out of the envelopes to begin the processing. So this is exactly how it works. Take a look. Once the ballots are turned into voting centers, they are transported by van to this new high-security processing center in the City of Industry. The facility is heavily secured with guards on site and more than 200 cameras covering every angle inside and out. Voters can even watch the entire ballot processing operation online, streaming 24/7 for full transparency. When mail-in ballots arrive, an LA County Sheriff's K-9 unit is on hand to check for any prohibited items, including drugs and explosives.
I would say it's a pretty secure process. I mean, you've got armed security at the front gate. It's a gated area. You've got an enclosed building. You've got several deputy on standby here for security purposes and for detection work. So I would say it's pretty safe.
Safe indeed. And right now, back here live, we are waiting for new ballots that are supposed to be arriving momentarily. Now, earlier tonight, Sheriff Robert Luna was also in hand. In fact, there's an entire Sheriff's Command Center here that's situated outside of the building, just in case there is a problem. Now, again, this is open to the public. Anyone who wants to come and check it out, they can do so. It is open to the public, and of course, they can watch how these ballots are being processed. All right, I'm going to send it back to you guys from the City of Industry. I'm Gina Silva. Send it back to you in the studio. All right, Gina, well, you just mentioned you're waiting for more ballots to be dropped off. And we have Skyfox over the parking lot outside of where Gina is in the City of Industry, and you see the van down below and people filing behind. This is an official ballot drop. That's what we're looking at here. You see the LA County Sheriff's helicopter hovering over as well. So more ballots to be counted in the City of Industry. Christine?
Amazing to watch as they come in by helicopter there. As we go to break, we'll leave you with some of the results from the local congressional races.
As we approach the 11 o'clock hour, we want to get you some of those results for California congressional races, tight ones. Let's start in northern LA County for District 27. Mike Garcia, the incumbent, the Republican incumbent, ever so slightly up against his challenger, George Whiteside's 50.1% to 49.9%, with 55% of those votes counted. District 41, this is in Riverside County. Will Rollins still holding about a four-point lead over the longtime Republican incumbent Ken Calvert, with 58% of those votes counted. A whole lot of money thrown at that race. In Orange County now, Dave Min up over the Republican Scott Baugh, 52 to 48%. This is to fill the seat left vacant by Congresswoman Katie Porter. And in District 45, but this is also in Orange County, Derek Tran, the Democrat, with a slight lead with 50% of those votes counted over the incumbent Michelle Steele. A long way to go there.
So as we are nearing the end of our 10 o'clock hour with more coverage to continue, a look at what's happening nationally. That's the big thing. We're still waiting for results on some of those battleground states, but it's looking to be a very good night for President Donald Trump. Some of those battleground states, those swing states, have been called. Others have not, but already, as we saw with the Harris campaign, that her people have been sent home. They said they're going to count the ballots throughout the night, and she'll speak tomorrow, but a much different scene as we saw the Trump party, where the party is on tonight.
We'll take you to the Trump party when we come back. We're going to sneak in a quick break, but as we go to break, we leave you with some numbers from some of the California state Senate races. Here are some of those.
Welcome back as we look at the electoral map that, right now. And right now, Donald Trump has 248 and to Harris's 214. We are following the Associated Press tonight. So this is where it stands. Of course, the magic number is 270. Pennsylvania is now pulling for Trump. AP has not called that yet, but he is up there. He's also up in Wisconsin, and he's also up in Michigan. If he does pull one of those, then, of course, this race, especially Pennsylvania, which has 19 electoral votes, the race will be over.
As we take a live look at the Trump headquarters in Florida, a celebration there is underway. They there are watching the Fox News Channel coverage. That's what's on all their TVs. And Fox News Channel has called that Trump will be the next president of the United States. They say that he will win Pennsylvania and win Wisconsin. And because of that, they all there believe that Trump will be the next president of the United States. He is expected to speak at any time. He could be walking out at any moment. We see many of his supporters in the crowd. You think about, Christine, the remarkable political comeback for Donald John Trump. You think about January 6th, and after that, how many members of his party came out against him, how he was impeached, he was almost convicted, which would have meant that he could never run for anything again, how he's faced 4 different major indictments, and yet Donald Trump, instead of potentially being behind bars, will likely be returning to the presidency for a second time with a Republican Senate and with a Supreme Court that has given him wide powers in terms of immunity. It is one of the greatest political comebacks in the history of the country, and he comes in potentially to the White House with an extraordinary amount of power.
I'm looking at one of those hats there that said, "Make America Great Again." That was his campaign slogan. And what stands out to me is we thought with these battleground states that the numbers might continue into the night, perhaps even days, where they'd be so close in these swing states we would not know the results of the election tonight. And Marla, as we watch this here, as we watch these numbers come in, we may have some clearer numbers and a clearer picture by the end of the night.
Yes, and we're looking at specifically Pennsylvania with 94% of those votes counted there. Trump holds a lead of 51 to 48%. We think about Pennsylvania, we think about the assassination attempt, the first assassination attempt on the president, Trump, in July the 13th, and it looks like Pennsylvania will, in fact, go to Donald Trump. In the crowd, we've seen RFK. He is there, the actor Jon Voight. That's no surprise. We know that he's been a longtime supporter. As we're now scanning the room, and we're seeing people with their phones up, waiting for Donald Trump to take the stage. You mentioned Make America Great Again. There's now the slogan of Make America Healthy Again. That is in a nod to RFK, because Trump says if he does win, which in fact all signs point to, in fact, a victorious night for him, that he will appoint RFK to his cabinet and give him widespread power within his administration.
It is now after 11 o'clock. This is usually the time of night when Marla Tejas says good night, LA, to everybody. Tonight, the whole team is a part of our special coverage. We've got reporters across Southern California, but the big story at this moment is that presidential race, and so we do expect to hear from Donald Trump soon. When he does speak to the country, we will bring that to you live. We will all witness history together.
And this could have been history either way. If the nation had elected Kamala Harris, she would have been the first woman president. We are still waiting to hear final results, so let's see how that plays out throughout the night. But
and it'll be the first time since Grover Cleveland where you have a president elected, leaving office, and then coming back for a second time. Let's talk about where Chelsea Edwards is at a party in Newport Beach, which is where Scott Baugh has been tonight, but it also is the California GOP party. And Chelsea, I imagine the drinks are flowing and people are probably in a very good mood right now.
You know,
it was last call just a little while ago, but yeah, people don't seem to be leaving. So everybody here is watching Fox News Channel's coverage, and they, of course, have called this race in favor of Donald Trump. And so people here just started erupting and cheering, clapping. There was lots of chanting. And I'm here with one supporter. Tell me how you felt in that moment when Fox News called this race.
Well, hi, I'm Kristen Nicole Valle. I'm with the California Young Republicans, so I am very invested in this. I've spent the last year traveling the country, going up and down the state of California, trying to get out the vote for Donald Trump and other Republican candidates. So it's a very emotional night for me. We're finally across the finish line. We put in so much hard work, and to finally see the fruits of our efforts is just amazing. I actually had wine spilled on my dress, and now I know with the inflation that's going to go down, I can afford to buy a new one. So I'm really excited about that.
I saw your reaction earlier. It looked like you were getting kind of emotional. I mean, tell me what was going through your mind when you heard that call.
Well, when I heard that, I thought our efforts were not in vain. It wasn't wasted. All of this hard work that the young Republicans have been putting in for the past year, and especially doubling down, tripling down the last 12 weeks to really get out the vote, I feel like it wasn't all for nothing. We put our blood, sweat, and tears into this election season, and to see it finally pay off and to see us get across the finish line, I feel like I have a weight lifted off of my shoulders, and it's just a really amazing feeling. I'm so happy. The energy here tonight is so amazing to see all these like-minded people come together, celebrating in victory together. It's just amazing. Like, where do you see this kind of energy at? It's great. I'm really hopeful for the future.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Enjoy the rest of your night. We appreciate you. And so, again, you know, this was last call a while ago. They took down the podium where Scott Baugh had spoken a little bit earlier. They said, well, guys, we're going to close at 11 o'clock. Everybody needs to get out. And then we heard the news that Fox News had called this election in favor of Donald Trump, and that really changed everything. I haven't heard any other talk about last calls. You see a lot of hugging, a lot of waving of American flags, a lot of people wearing hats, red hats, a lot of people with Make America Great Again, Donald Trump 2024. How are you guys feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great. It feels like New Year's, but 10 times better. We've got a new country back.
USA! 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 USA!
Yeah, so safe to say these people aren't going to be leaving the bar anytime soon, even though they were told to get out by 11 o'clock. Again, this is the California Republican Party, GOP here. This is where everybody is celebrating, so this is where the most excitement is, of course, for this race being called. Very exciting night here. Hearing, again, a lot of chanting, a lot of celebrating, and just a lot of excitement and enthusiasm here. Now, back to the race that we were talking about earlier, the 47th Congressional District. Scott Baugh it's too early to call. They say it's likely going to be a couple of days. So he, again, stepped down from the podium after speaking and said, good night. We'll see you in a little while. We'll see you in a couple of days after we can call this. So, again, that's what people were here for. That's what a lot of people were here to watch. Now they're here celebrating what Fox News is calling a Trump victory. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Chelsea, thank you. Yeah, that district is purple, Orange County is purple, but Newport Beach is ruby red. And you see that on display right now, Newport Beach celebrating the prospect of a Trump presidency. Chelsea, thank you so much.
All right, let's look at the popular vote here. Donald Trump up 51 to 47%, with 70% of those votes counted. And this has not happened. A Republican has not won the popular vote since 2004.
George W. Bush. I mean, it is a bigger night than almost any Republican could potentially even imagine.
Let's take a look now at the numbers that have come in for the L.A. District Attorney's race. Nathan Hochman with that very strong lead there, and that race called. George Gascon had that uphill battle, the incumbent there, against that challenger.
Prop 36, which got the most attention on the ballot, winning huge. This is the effort to reform Prop 47, add sentences for drug and theft crimes. 71% say yes.
The race to fill We're actually going to go back to that electoral map there and show you that Donald Trump, according to the Associated Press, has 248 to Kamala Harris's 214. It's only a matter of time until we get some more answers about Michigan, Wisconsin, especially Pennsylvania. AP now reporting 95% of those votes have been counted, and Trump is up in Pennsylvania. We will keep a watch.
New era when it comes to the United States Senate here in California. Congressman Adam Schiff with that strong win there. Just reminded that he is taking that seat that was held by longtime Senator Dianne Feinstein. And there you have that race declared against Steve Garvey there. All right, we go back now to the Democratic headquarters in downtown L.A. Fox 11's Phil Schuman is there talking about that Senate race and the Democrats tonight.
Empty.
Yeah, the air pretty much went out of the room after Adam Schiff came out, gave a brief congratulatory acceptance speech, and then people started focusing on the national results. And as you can imagine, they were not happy since this is the California Democratic election night watch party. But there was a bright moment when Senator Schiff, as expected, Senator-elect Schiff, as expected, was declared the winner early in the evening, and he came out to address a medium-sized crowd.
And my promise to you is that I'm going to deliver on day one, week one, year one, and keep on delivering for this amazing state. Because together there is no challenge that we cannot overcome. We leave no community behind. We do not stop, we do not rest until all our citizens have a safe place to live, clean water to drink, clean air to breathe, safe neighborhoods to raise their children, good hospitals, clinics, and health care, and the best public schools in the world.
Of course, Adam Schiff heavily favored against first-time candidate Steve Garvey, the Republican, the ex-Dodger. You remember Marla and Alex and Christine, the strategy during the primary back in March was to split the Democratic vote. Remember all the Democratic challengers, and Schiff essentially guaranteed himself a victory when his opponent was Steve Garvey, simply because of the huge Democratic majority in voter registration here in California. Reporting live downtown, I'm Phil Schuman, Fox 11 News.
All right, to talk to the other side, we're going to go to Laura Diaz live in Rancho Mirage at a Steve Garvey watch party, where that room is also pretty quiet right now. All right, Laura?
Well, Christine, it's quiet right now, but just moments ago, people were yelling and screaming and dancing. They were absolutely jubilant as they started to see a trend occurring for President Trump. So they have been very upbeat all night. But about an hour ago, probably an hour and a half ago now, Steve Garvey did come out and speak to his supporters. He was very eloquent in stating why he thought it was so important to make a run that he knew would be very difficult, and he was gracious in defeat. Let's listen.
That running for this office may have been the single greatest challenge and opportunity for our family. If we do lose tonight, we have learned so much from this race. And the thing I learned is all of you took your commitment to this state and to this country higher. And I am so proud of you for doing that.
Of course, it was always going to be an uphill battle for a Republican, and he certainly knew that going in. Democrats outnumber Republicans nearly 2-1 in the state of California. And Garvey came in with high name recognition, of course, because of his many years with the Dodgers and with the Padres, and he's also quite charming when you meet him in person. But it wasn't enough to overcome that huge machine that he was going up against. But I can tell you this here tonight, that people loved him. They gave him strong applause, and once again, he was gracious in defeat. I'm Laura Diaz reporting live from Rancho Mirage, sending it back to the studio.
All right, Laura, thank you so much. We'll be right back with more election coverage. Stay with us.
We are watching one of the closest races in the Congressional District, Orange County, 45th seat. We have learned that Michelle Steele, the incumbent, has pulled ahead. This race, though, has been neck and neck. She's being challenged by Democratic Attorney Derek Tran. We're going to check in right now with Fox 11's Christy Fajardo live in Buena Park for the update there.
Yeah, Christine, the candidate or the congresswoman has left, but many of her supporters are still here. As you can see, some of them are wearing Trump hats, and now they have reason to be hopeful. Also, in the race for the 45th district, because as you mentioned, Michelle Steele has pulled ahead about 2,500 votes ahead of her opponent, but it is still early. There are lots of votes to be counted in both Orange County and LA County because her district encompasses parts of both, and it could be days before we know the final outcome. But I want to show you, this is what it looked like earlier when the Congresswoman, Michelle Steele, greeted and thanked supporters and volunteers. This all happened shortly after the polls closed, and she got a standing ovation. This has been a very contentious campaign and a very expensive one, with outside groups spending millions on attack ads. In fact, more than $38 million was spent in this district. Democrats are hoping to unseat her with attorney Derek Tran. Republicans, meanwhile, fought tooth and nail to keep her in Washington, and both sides have accused the other of lying. Last Friday, LAist raised questions about a $1.2 million pandemic contract she awarded while she was an Orange County supervisor to the company who prints her campaign mailers. The contract was to feed seniors. Since then, she has refused to give interviews or answer questions about the report, including to Fox 11. But tonight, she did tell us the following before her campaign ushered her away.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Everything's good, and we're just waiting for the next, batches coming in. So, thank you.
You're relieved, anxious?
You know what? I feel very much relieved, but we really worked hard. So.
And take a look, these are the latest numbers, but again, Orange County and LA County still have votes to count, and we're told by her campaign that they feel pretty good about where the numbers are trending. They say it's on track with the election back in 2022, but they do believe that they will not know the final outcome for several days. And again, the Congresswoman has left, no doubt going to get some rest tonight and await the final results. Live in Buena Park, I'm Christy Fajardo. Let's send it back to you.
Yeah, it could be a while. Christy, thank you. Now to her Democratic challenger, Derek Tran. Fox 11's Haley Winslow spoke with him. She's live for us in Garden Grove. Haley.
Yeah, we are closing down the house here for House District 45 candidate Derek Tran here at the Marriott Suites here in Garden Grove. There are a few people still milling around, but the majority of people have left the house. It was packed here earlier with people holding signs, "Yes, we Tran and stronger than Steele." This has been the difference of 1 to 2 percentage points in the last couple of hours. It is definitely neck and neck. Of course, District 45 includes cities in both Orange and LA counties, a few of those being Brea, Cerritos, and Garden Grove, of course, currently represented by Republican Michelle Steele. Tran says he's cautiously optimistic. We spoke to him, and he spoke in front of this packed house, first thanking his wife and 3 kids for sacrificing their time, he says, to help make a positive difference, and then friends and his supporters. He says he went from the son of refugee parents to nearly the highest level of government in 1 generation. Didn't plan on running for this House seat, kind of talked into it, and now he's hoping to make history.
Thank you for dedicating every ounce of your soul to a campaign that will now be recognized as one of the best-run races in the country and will go down in Vietnamese history books. Our community is better off because you decided to be part of the new machine of Democrats that will run OC. The Vietnamese community leading the charge. Thank you, everyone. Now let's party.
The handful of people still here are 5.5 hours strong. This party's been going on since 6 p.m. Tran finally left with his family, hoping to get a good night's sleep tonight, I'm sure. He was literally door knocking and campaigning until the very last minute, even today. Reporting live here in Garden Grove, I'm Haley Winslow, Fox 11 News.
Still too early to call there. Okay, Haley, thanks so much. We're keeping a watch on Trump headquarters in Florida. As soon as he speaks, we'll bring Donald Trump's remarks to you. We will be right back with more election coverage.
With our election coverage, we are looking at some of the propositions that you voted on today. This is Prop 32. This is dealing with minimum wage. You can see that voters really are split on this one. It is very close. It has not yet been called. The no vote at this hour is slightly ahead. Let's go now to Prop 33. This one deals with rent control. This one not called yet either. We're continuing to watch the props here. Meanwhile, we're going to take you now to the Trump headquarters, where he is coming out and speaking to the crowd here.
So we first expect to hear from J.D. Vance. Well, there you see Donald Trump, his wife Melania, Barron Trump, who is a whole lot taller than he was in 2016
He's
when Donald Trump won. Yeah, you see Melania's father there behind them, Donald Trump Jr., the entire family. We'll see if Ivanka Trump is with him for the first time during this campaign. You see his kids, Eric and Lara Trump, who is one of the co-chairs of the Republican Party, his granddaughters.
Kimberly Guilfoyle Newsom in the back.
Yeah. And so this is a moment. It's very late on the East Coast, but here we go. Donald Trump. Let's listen in.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, Detroit down to Houston, and New York to Memphis.
Yeah, Associated Press is finally calling Pennsylvania for Donald Trump, so that makes him, with 19 electoral votes, he will secure the White House and become the 47th president of the United States, as we are live right now, looking live at his election headquarters in Palm Beach, Florida.
and you see his family there. Dana White, his longtime friend, there. Dana White right in the middle there next to Eric Trump. And a triumphant moment. A man who was literally almost killed in front of all of our eyes has now been reelected President of the United States, the 45th and 47th President of the United States.
Not necessarily what we expected tonight on election night. The thought was this would be neck and neck, with the vote coming down to several of those battleground states that still have yet to be called. But apparently enough numbers, enough points, enough votes to get him over the top at this hour right here on election night, and not spilling over until election day.
Ivanka Trump is there, standing next to J.D. Vance. One of the first times we've seen her this election. You see Mike Johnson is there, current Speaker of the House. We're still not clear if he will remain as the Speaker of the House, but we do know Republicans have taken control of the Senate, and Trump will be returning to the White House.
Thank you very much. Wow. Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends in this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country, and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance, because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And to every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again. And in addition to having won the battleground states of North Carolina, I love these places, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, we are now winning in Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Alaska, which would result in us carrying at least 315 electoral votes. But it's much easier doing what the networks did or whoever called it, because there was no other path. There was no other path to victory. We also have won the popular vote. That was great. Very proud of that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And, winning the popular vote was very nice. Very nice, I will tell you. It's a great feeling of love. We have a great feeling of love in this very large room with unbelievable people standing by my side. These people have been incredible. They've made the journey with me, and We're going to make you very happy. We're going to make you very proud of your vote. I hope that you're going to be looking back someday and say that was one of the truly important moments of my life when I voted for this group of people beyond the president, this group of great people. America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate. We have taken back control of the Senate. Wow, that's good. And the Senate races in Montana, Nevada, Texas, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, were all won by the MAGA movement. They helped so much. And in those cases, every one of them, we worked with the senators. They were tough races. And I mean, the number of victories in the Senate was absolutely incredible. And we did tele-rallies. We did tele-rallies with each one of them. And sometimes we did 2 or 3 and it was amazing to look at all of those victories. Nobody expected that, nobody. So I just wanted to thank you very much for that. And you have some great senators and some great new senators. And it also looks like we'll be keeping control of the House of Representatives. And I want to thank Mike Johnson. I think he's doing a terrific job. Terrific job. I want to also thank my beautiful wife, Melania, First Lady. Who has the #1 best-selling book in the country. Can you believe that? Oh, no, she's done a great job, works very hard to help people. So I just want to thank her. But I want to thank my whole family, my amazing children, and they are amazing children. Now, we all think our children are amazing. Everybody here thinks their children are amazing, but that's a good thing when you think they are. But Don, Eric, Ivanka, Tiffany, Barron, Laura, Jared, Kimberly, Michael, thank you all. What a help. What a great help. My father-in-law, Victor, is tremendous, and we miss very much Melania's mother, Amalia. We miss Amalia, don't we, huh? She would be very happy right now, standing on this stage. She'd be so proud. She was a great woman, that one. Beautiful inside and out. She was a great woman. I want to be the first to congratulate our great, now I can say, Vice President-elect of the United States, J.D. Vance.
Well, Mr. President, I appreciate you allowing me to join you on this incredible journey. I thank you for the trust that you placed in me. And I think that we just witnessed the greatest political comeback in the history of the United States of America. And under President Trump's leadership, we're never going to stop fighting for you, for your political comeback in the history of the United States of America. And under President Trump's leadership, we're never going to stop fighting for you, for your dreams, for the future of your children. And after the greatest political comeback in American history, we're going to lead the greatest economic comeback in American history under Donald Trump's leadership.
Thank you very much. He's turned out to be a good choice. I took a little heat at the beginning, but he was, I knew the brain was a good one, about as good as it gets. And we love the family, and we're going to have a great 4 years, and we're going to turn our country around, make it something very special. It lost that little thing called special. We have to make it so. We're going to make this so great. It's the greatest country and potentially the greatest country in the world by far. And right now, we're going to just work very hard to get all of that back. We're going to make it the best it's ever been. We can do that. If we had to wait longer, I don't know. It was going bad, and it was going bad fast. We're going to have to seal up those borders, and we're going to have to let people come into our country. We want people to come back in, but we have to let them come back in, but they have to come in legally. They have to come in legally. Let me also express my tremendous appreciation for Susie and Chris, the job you did. Susie, come here. Come here, Susie. Chris, come here, Chris. Susie likes to stay sort of in the back, let me tell you. The Ice Maiden. We call her the Ice Maiden. Come here, Chris. Come here, Chris. Susie likes to stay in the background. She's not in the background. Come here, say something.
This wasn't expected, but I just want to thank, obviously, President Trump for this journey. It was a great one, and he's a hell of a candidate, and he's going to be a hell of a great 47th president. And this team that we had, the best team, and, of course, even my boss, Susie Wiles, the best. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Susie. Look at this. She's shy. I've never seen her be shy before. Susie. They're great. Everybody up here is great. Everybody up here is very special. But the Trump, who did you say? Oh, let me tell you, we have a new star. A star is born, Elon. Now he is. Now he's an amazing guy. We were sitting together tonight. You know, he spent 2 weeks in Philadelphia and different parts of Pennsylvania campaigning. You know, he sent the rocket up 2 weeks ago, and I saw that rocket, and I saw it coming down. I saw it. It was, when it left, it was beautiful, shiny white. When it came down, it didn't look so pretty. It was going 10,000 miles an hour, and it was burning like hell. I said, what happened to your paint job? He said, we've never made a paint that could withstand that kind of heat. And but I saw it come down and turn around. And it was, you know, it's like 22 stories tall, by the way. It looks a little smaller than that, but it's big. And it came down, and you saw all that fire burning. And I'm saying, only Elon can do this. It must be an Elon. And I tell the story. I told it last night. I had a man on the phone. I had the screen muted, no sound. I was talking to a very important man, happens to be here. And that very important guy, one of the most important people in, I would say, the country, actually. But, you know, I was president, and now it looks like I was going to be maybe president again, so I figured I could ask him to hold. So I asked him to hold. And especially because you're going to be president again, they hold. So I took the phone down, and I'm looking at the screen. I'm seeing this crazy thing that's going around and coming down. It looks like it's going to crash into the gantry. And I said, oh, no. And I said, do me a favor, do you mind holding for a couple of minutes? I want to see this. I thought it was a space-age movie or something. I put the phone down. Bad part, I didn't pick it up for 45 minutes, and he was holding. But this spaceship came down, and I saw those engines firing, and it looked like it was over. It was going to smash. And then I saw the fire pour out from the left side, and it put it straight, and it came down so gently, and then it wrapped those arms around it, and it held it, and just like you hold your baby at night, your little baby. And it was a beautiful thing to see, and I called Elon. I said, Elon, was that you? He said, yes, it was. I said, who else can do that? Can Russia do it? No. Can China do it? No. Can the United States do it other than you? No. Nobody can do that. I said, that's why I love you, Elon. That's great. And you know, when we had the tragic Hurricane Helene, and it hit North Carolina, they were really devastated, the water. This was a big water, as big as we've ever seen, water hurricane. It built lakes out of nothing. Fields became lakes, and the danger was unbelievable. And the people from North Carolina came to me and they said, would it be possible, at all possible, for you to speak to Elon Musk? We need Starlink. I said, what's Starlink? It's a form of communication. So I called Elon, and I'll tell you what, he had, and it was very dangerous. People would die. They had no communication. All the wires were down. I called Elon Musk. I said, Elon, you have something called Starlink. Is that right? Yes, I do. What the hell is it? He said, it's a communication system that's very good. I said, Elon, they need it really, really badly in North Carolina. Can you get it? He had that there so fast. It was incredible. So, and it was great. It saved a lot of lives. He saved a lot of lives. But he's a character. He's a special guy. He's a super genius. We have to protect our geniuses. We don't have that many of them. We have to protect our super geniuses. I want to thank some of the guys. You know, we have up here today the U.S. Open champion. He's a fantastic golfer, slightly longer than me. It's a ball, a little bit longer than me. Just a little bit. Bryson DeChambeau is up here someplace. What happened to Bryson? Where is he? Bryson. Oh, he was shot. He's hitting balls. Oh, he's on the way. He's hitting balls. Bryson. Oh, look at him. He's got a great career going. Great U.S. Open, Bryson. That's a fantastic job. And we also have a man, Dana White, who has done some job. He's a tough guy. So Dana started UFC and came to me, do you mind if I use your... Nobody wanted to give him arenas because they said it's a rough sport, a little rough. And I helped him out a little bit, and I went, and they said, this is the roughest sport I've ever seen, but I began to like it, and he loved it, and nobody's done a better job in sports. And you know, he's a very motivational kind of a guy, what he does. He gets these fighters, and they really go at it, and it's become one of the most successful sports enterprises anywhere at any time. It's doing so well. I'd like to ask Dana just to say a couple of words, because people love to hear from him. Dana,
please. Nobody deserves this more than him, and nobody deserves this more than his family does. This is what happens when the machine comes after you. What you've seen over the last several years, this is what it looks like. Couldn't stop him. He keeps going forward. He doesn't quit. He's the most resilient, hard-working man I've ever met in my life. His family are incredible people. This is karma, ladies and gentlemen. He deserves this. They deserve it as a family. I want to thank some people real quick. I want to thank the Nelk boys, Aiden Ross, Theo Vaughn, busting with the boys, and last but not least, the mighty and powerful Joe Rogan. And thank you, America. Thank you. Have a good night.
That is a piece of work. No, he's really an amazing guy. But most of all, I want to thank the millions of hardworking Americans across the nation who have always been the heart and soul of this really great movement. We've been through so much together, and today you showed up in record numbers to deliver a victory like really, I probably like no other. This was something special, and we're gonna pay you back. We're gonna do the best job. We're gonna turn it around. It's got to be turned around. It's got to be turned around fast, and we're gonna turn it around. We're gonna do it in every way, with so many ways, but we're gonna do it in every way. This will forever be remembered as the day the American people regained control of their country. So I just want to say that on behalf of this great group of people, these are hard-working people. These are fantastic people, and we can add a few names like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He came in. And he's going to help make America healthy again. And now he's a great guy, and he really means it. He wants to do some things, and we're going to let him go to it. I just said, but, Bobby, leave the oil to me. We have more liquid gold, oil and gas. We have more liquid gold than any country in the world, more than Saudi Arabia. We have more than Russia. Bobby, stay away from the liquid gold. Other than that, go have a good time, Bobby. We're going to be paying down debt. We're going to be reducing taxes. We can do things that nobody else can do. Nobody else is going to be able to do it. China doesn't have what we have. Nobody has what we have. But we have the greatest people also. Maybe that's the most important thing. This campaign has been so historic in so many ways. We've built the biggest, the broadest, the most unified coalition. They've never seen anything like it in all of American history. They've never seen any young and old, men and women, rural and urban. And we had them all helping us tonight. When you think, I mean, I was looking at it, I was watching it. They had some great analysis of the people that voted for us. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. They came from all corners, union, non-union, African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, Arab American, Muslim American. We had everybody, and it was beautiful. It was a historic realignment, uniting citizens of all backgrounds around a common core of common sense. You know, we're the party of common sense. We want to have borders. We want to have security. We want to have things be good, safe. We want great education. We want a strong and powerful military, and ideally we don't have to use it. You know, we had no wars. 4 years we had no wars, except we defeated ISIS. We defeated ISIS in record time, but we had no wars. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. But this is also a massive victory for democracy and for freedom. Together, we're going to unlock America's glorious destiny, and we're going to achieve the most incredible future for our people. Yesterday, as I stood at my last stop on the campaign trail, I'll never be doing a rally again. Can you believe it? I think we've done 900 rallies approximately from them. Can you imagine? 901 something, a lot of rallies. And it was sad. Everybody was sad. Many people, I said, this is our last rally. But now we're going on to something that's far more important, because the rallies were used for us to be put in this position where we can really help our country. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make our country better than it ever has been. And I said that many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to greatness. And now we are going to fulfill that mission together. We're going to fulfill that mission. The task before us will not be easy, but I will bring every ounce of energy, spirit, and fight that I have in my soul to the job that you've entrusted to me. This is a great job. There's no job like this. This is the most important. We're governed by a simple motto: promises made, promises kept. We're going to keep our promises. Nothing will stop me from keeping my word to you, the people. We will make America safe, strong, prosperous, powerful, and free again. And I'm asking every citizen all across our land to join me in this noble and righteous endeavor. That's what it is. It's time to put the divisions of the past 4 years behind us. It's time to unite. And we're going to try. We're going to try. We have to try. And it's going to happen. Success will bring us together. I've seen that. I've seen that. I saw that in the first term when we became more and more successful. People started coming together. Success is going to bring us together, and we are going to start by all putting America first. We have to put our country first for at least a period of time. We have to fix it. Because together we can truly make America great again for all Americans. So I want to just tell you what a great honor this is. I want to thank you. I will not let you down. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than it has ever been before. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Donald John Trump, the 45th President of the United States and the likely 47th President of the United States, with an address approaching 3 o'clock on the East Coast. And there is the YMCA, that song, and the dance moves that he's become so known for. J.D. Vance, the Vice President-elect, the Trump family out in force on stage. What a celebration happening right now in Florida.
Yeah, Trump saying it is time to unite. We're going to try. Obviously, we have not heard from Kamala Harris tonight. Her campaign saying earlier on in the evening that they were going to be counting the numbers all night. But with Trump picking up some of those battleground states like Pennsylvania, the numbers almost impossible for Kamala Harris to pull ahead. And their campaign saying that we would hear from her tomorrow. But tonight, a grand celebration there on stage with the entire Trump family and so many others, including many supporters he brought on to the mic to speak.
When we learned of the win for Pennsylvania just moments ago, that put Trump at 267 electoral votes. This is according to the Associated Press, so 3 electoral votes shy as we look at this map now of the 270 it takes to officially win. Again, this is according to the Associated Press. In the meantime, it looks positive for Trump to take Michigan and Wisconsin.
So let's take a moment to breathe and talk about what we just witnessed history together, and maybe we can show some of what's happening in Florida again, and just talk about what Trump just talked about. And we saw the folks on stage with him, which is a different crew of people than what you saw even when he was elected in 2016. You saw Dana White, who of course has started the UFC, out there speaking. Elon Musk, who now owns X, and the power of him and his influence on Trump's thinking as well. He talked about that. We saw the campaign managers, Susie Wiles and Chris LaCivita, were brought on stage, widely thought as campaign professionals, and that his campaign was better run than some of the previous campaigns, and they did brought him more in shape. But Trump sort of does what he wants, and we saw tonight him going on off prompter and telling stories as he does. He calls it the weave. He said that he's going to win the popular vote. We don't know that yet. A lot of California votes still need to be counted. He said that they're going to win every close Senate race. We don't know that yet either. But one thing is clear, Christine, a very, very good night for Donald Trump, and also a good night for fighting back against the establishment. Donald Trump, for so many years, has represented a sort of middle finger to the media, to Hollywood elites, and to the old school way of politics done by both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. And tonight, in a lot of ways, the country is giving the middle finger to a lot of those elites by once again electing Donald Trump, despite the fact that he has 91 criminal indictments against him and everything that he's been through, 2 impeachments, all the rest of it, and yet he is going to be elected president again.
You know, listening to Donald Trump speak on the Joe Rogan podcast or another podcast, he talked about being a businessman who was never a politician the first time he ran for office. We heard the names that backed him, so the big names, RFK, Elon Musk, Dana White spoke there, that podcaster Joe Rogan. And Dana White had said he's the most resilient, hardworking man I've ever met. A reminder there that Donald Trump is 78 years old. Joe Biden was 78 when he was inaugurated. And Dana White saying that he is out there fighting for the people, saying the hardest working man I've ever met. Couldn't stop him.
And that makes me think, when you're talking about the age, of course, you just brought up President Joe Biden. He is watching these results from the White House tonight. He is 81, poised to turn 82. This month is his birthday. He will turn 82 a little bit later this November. Speaking about those national results, the popular vote, Alex just brought that up. 72% of the votes have been counted there. Trump holds a lead over Harris, 51 to 47%. But Alex brings up the great point that California, of course, comes in a lot later. There are a whole lot of votes for Kamala Harris in the state of California. We'll see how that turns out. If, in fact, he does win the popular vote, it would be the first time since 2004 that a Republican has won the popular vote, as we're seeing now in the crowd, a lot of dancing and wide shots of people just being jubilant on this now, what for them is a Wednesday morning, almost 3 a.m.
Think of everything that has been thrown at Donald Trump. Since he started running for president, he went against the Republican establishment, beat the Bush family, then beat the Clinton family. He has been impeached multiple times, threatened with prison sentences, was shot at, has been underestimated over and over and over again, had almost every Hollywood celebrity come out against him, Taylor Swift, the biggest musical act in the world, the entire Democratic establishment against him, so much of the media coming out against him, so many opinion editorials coming out against him, and yet despite all of that, Donald Trump is prevailing, and many of those people that I just mentioned are in real fear tonight about what is going to happen next in this country with a president who will have a tremendous amount of power, have a Republican Senate to back up what he wants to do, and a Supreme Court, many of whom he appointed, who have not shown a lot of willingness to go against him in the future. You are looking at a very, very different America with this version of Donald Trump taking over on January 20th, 2025.
Let's be reminded, we are a very divided country. So now the Democratic Party is going to have to go back, Alex, and look at things and regroup after the loss tonight. And the direction of the country going forward. It was a very different campaign, thinking that Joe Biden was the candidate just months ago, Marla, and now we see this a loss here by the Democrats.
Harris took over recently, and she basically was saying, vote for me for democracy. Trump, on the other hand, was saying, you don't like the inflation, you don't like what's happening at the border, vote for me. And it looks like, of course, Donald J. Trump will be the 47th president after being the 45th United States president.
And the first Californian to be a Democratic nominee is now not going to be in there, and you can see a lot of fights coming between Trump and California. Thank you so much for watching our special coverage. Our coverage will pick up with Good Day LA at 4 a.m.
Good night.